Ladies and gentlemen, we are live!
Welcome everybody to the Bronx Sports JEDI Network with MMA Weekly Combat Sports Show with me, Austin, and Chef Dan here. How you doing tonight, Chef Dan?
Salute to you, Austin. Salute to everyone in the chat, everyone joining us wherever you are. I'm doing great, man. Finally back to MMA. You know, UFC is right back. We finally enjoy some combat sports over the weekend. So I'm excited to enjoy that. And I want to get right into breaking down this card and what our perspective victors and losers and what we see going forward.
Yeah, definitely. UFC is back after taking about around a month layoff from their last event over the holidays and stuff, but we're back at it. 2022, new year, excuse me, and now we got a new now we got new year, new fights. And before we break down this Saturday's card, just want to mention we're our podcast platforms on Anchor FM, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., etc. So check us out there if you want to listen to us instead of watching us on YouTube. You know, in case you can't watch us, whether you be driving or work or etc., you definitely check us out on audio, these podcasting platforms. So that being said, let's get started with this card on Saturday night and UFC Fight Night from the UFC Apex in Vegas between the main events between Calvin Kattar and Giga Chikadze in the featherweight division. And I guess we'll start with the main event if you want to go there, Chef Dan.
Sure, let's get right into the main event.
Yeah, the main event, as I mentioned, is a 145 between Calvin Kattar and Giga Chikadze. Calvin Kattar's last performance was over a year ago in a loss to Max Holloway back in January at Fight Island. Meanwhile, Giga's last fight was against Edson Barboza back in June, and it was a TKO. I believe it was a TKO victory, if I'm not mistaken. I know he finished Edson Barboza in their fight back in June.
Yeah.
And
it may have been the TKO, yeah.
Right, and Giga comes in very, on fire right now as the top. I don't want to call him a prospect, but like the top new contender, I should say, rather.
He's a rising star within the division, most definitely.
Right, he's probably been the talk of the towns and like the young rising contender in the 145 division, especially his performances over Edson Barboza and before that, Cub Swanson. And before that, he beat Jamie Simmons by TKO, head kicks and punches. So his last three fights have all been TKO victories. It was a TKO over Edson Barboza. So I mean, Giga's coming in on fire, looking like a very dangerous featherweight contender. And you have Calvin Kattar, who before the Max Holloway fight was also on a roll of his own, prior to the Holloway loss. And unfortunately for him, it wasn't that he just lost to Holloway. It was that he got beat up by Holloway a year ago, like really badly. It's the reason why he took a year off after that performance, and probably was the best thing for him considering how bad of a whooping he took from Holloway. And now the question is like I said, he did the right thing by taking a year off. But my question is Calvin Kerr the same fighter he was going into that Holloway fight from a year ago, or is he a different fighter? That's to me the main thing that I'm looking for in this fight is how's Calvin Kattar? Is he still the same fighter? Like I said, has he made improvements, or is there some a part of him that diminished after that performance against Max Holloway? What are your thoughts on this fight, Chef Dan?
Um, Calvin Kattar has no choice but to evolve and show us something new. And that would be his best chance of even giving himself a chance at winning this fight. Because in my honest opinion, uh there is no version, like I haven't seen a version of Calvin Kattar right now that could deal with the guy that is Giga Chikadze, the angles that he gets the kicks in and things of that nature. This is something where, um Calvin Kattar, there was a lot of things that Max Holloway showed in that fight. The way he beat Calvin Kattar convincingly, and it started off with just knowing his own spacing, range, and things of that nature that Calvin Kattar just couldn't deal with, and uh, Holloway could just slip in and slip out whenever he wanted to. He was able to time Cater's rhythm to a point where he was just, you saw it, he was convincingly beating him and then, like, dodging his punches, talking to the commentators while striking back at Calvin Kattar because he knew the rhythm. And so Calvin Cater's got to have the ability to provide something different. I'm not saying that Giga Chikadze is on the level to provide a performance that Max Holloway did. It's just that what Giga Chikadze provides as far as being able to, really just kick someone and, all the different variations and the angles of kicks that he provides, along with the length that he provides in the striking. I it's just I have a reason to believe why Giga Chikadze is the favorite for this fight.
Right, and he should be the favorite considering how well he's looked, in his last several UFC fights. Really, all his UFC fights, he's won all of them, if I'm mistaken. And like I say, he put away Edson. He beat Edson at his own game, in terms of striking. Especially kickboxing wise, which normally is a kickboxing fight. Edson tends to do well. Giga kind of beat him at that, and like I say, he was able to finish Cub Swanson, who's looked pretty decent recently. Still, but still, like I said, I think he should be the favorite, and I do want to see, what this is probably Giga's biggest fight. No, this is his biggest fight. He's on a main event on the UFC card, and we need to see how he performs in the right light, shining the most. At him. Does he, perform the same? Does he, get a little nervous, or does he, exceed expectation? I think that's something that we definitely keep an eye out on with Giga to see how he does. Considering this is also, the biggest fight of his, life, and he's like I said, main event of a UFC card. I mean, that's something you think to watch out for, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is big. I just No, this is, yeah. I knew I had to check it out right now. This is the second main event. This is the second main event.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It was a main event, Barboza and
Yeah, Barboza
Chikazian.
and Chikaze was definitely a main event. That fight was really big. That was a main event. So hopefully he can just stay consistent. Really, just show a consistent performance, and from there, I mean, shoot.
I don't know why. For some reason I thought it was a co-main event, but yeah,
Nah,
good point.
it's not that. It's just if he does this and I mean, the fight's already signed, but he would really have a case to say Alexander Volkanovski may have, I don't know,
He
because this fight is already happening, and
right,
everyone. he did say, I don't know. He said Volkanovski had ducked the easy fight, and if he wins this fight convincingly, he may have a case for it.
Right, to fight Volkanovski, because for those of you who maybe are not aware, earlier, yeah, it was it last week. No, I think it was last week. It was they scheduled Volkanovski Holloway 3 for the featherweight title, but then Holloway got injured and then had to pull out, and obviously, it was Volkanovski got choices from Chikadze and wanted to fight Volkanovski to Korean Zombie to I forget it was someone else. I don't remember. I think Yair. I could be wrong about Yair, but and Volkan this guy go with Korean Zombie to fight,
Hmm.
to fight for the featherweight title in April, which is an exciting fight. But Giga feels like he more deserved it than Korean Zombie, which I guess think it was point. Giga has won more fights in a row than Korean Zombie. Although the thing is, I think Zombie has a higher ranking than him, so maybe that's why some may argue
Yeah.
against Giga. And plus, Giga's already got to fight Calvin anyway, so
Hmm.
it's right close to this fight with Calvin Cater. And Buchanan Smith Calvin. I don't want to do that because I know his
I
last
don't.
fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, his last
I
fight.
really. Go
I'm
ahead. Go.
sorry.
Sorry.
No, I was saying his last fight wasn't his greatest performance, but Calvin Carey is a legit top 10 featherweight and a really good one. I mean, like I said, prior to the Max Holloway fight, he was on a roll. I mean, he was beating dudes. He was beating up guys left and right. I think he finished Jeremy Stevens with an elbow, if I'm not mistaken, in that Jacksonville card in the first fight after the lockdown from COVID. It was
Hmm.
something like that. And then I remember I think I'm trying to remember who else. Dan Ige, he beat Dan Ige, who's not an easy out, who's a really good featherweight as well. And even the Zabit fight, he lost that fight, but he in that third round, he was giving Zabit all kinds of problems in that third round. And Calvin Kerr has a victory over Ricardo Lamas too by knockout. Ricardo Lamas was always a top 10 mainstay featherweight for a long time. So I mean, Calvin Kerr has beaten some really good fighters and has some great performances. So I mean,
Hmm.
I think
Everyone
some
loves. Everyone loves Shane Burgos, and he's got a victory over him. So, yeah, Calvin Cater's been putting in some work.
yeah, yeah, yes, and it's easy to forget that when you think of the last fight, but it's important to note that this guy is really good. Trains out a good gym in the New England Cartel with Rob Font and try to remember who else they got. It's really shoot. There's someone else they got is really good. It's obviously Cater, Rob Font, and I forget the other person. I apologize, but it's a really good gym that's been rising up lately. New England Cartel. So I mean, he trains out a good gym. Got good. I'm pretty sure him and Rob Font work together, train with each other, and so I mean, it's something. Calvin Kerr is not exactly a slouch, and definitely is good gym and a guy that could be Giga Chikadze and possibly. I'm not saying he's going to, but it's not out of the question that he can do it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if just after Saturday nights, Saturday midnight, we're talking about Calvin Cater being back in the title contention.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And he's defending his spot. Really what I'm trying to say is it's not to say that Calvin Cater he doesn't have a chance. It's just that right now purely striking, you can't do that with a guy in Giga Chikadze. You have to mix the martial arts because he is shown right now that so far that he is too good. And you have to respect it. And if you think you're just gonna go in and outstrike Giga Chikadze right now, you got another thing coming. You're in for a long night.
Right, exactly. Especially considering Calvin is main offense is striking, especially boxing. And so going against Giga, that can really be a problem if it's especially if he's doesn't especially if it's just boxing. I mean, we gotta see if does Calvin have new techniques, new tricks. Is he gonna try to make it a grappling match? Try test Giga's grappling. Is he gonna maybe try to throw kicks, leg kicks to try slow down Giga, especially in the early rounds? That'd
Most
be interesting.
definitely.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting.
Very interesting, very exciting. I mean, I'm looking forward to that main event. It's a good main event to have to open up the year. I mean, we can definitely agree there.
Most definitely.
UFC got this one right in terms of the main
Yeah.
event. And anything else you want to say before we move on?
Nah, I just want to say let's get right on to the co-main event. I believe this is some big boys swinging, some heavyweights.
Yes, in the co-main event that kind of surprised me. It's a heavyweight fight between Jake Collier and Chase Sherman. And Jake Collier coming to this fight is with a record of 12 wins, 6 losses. Chase Sherman, if I'm not mistaken, does have 15 wins and 8 losses. Both got a lot of knockouts. Chase Sherman's got 14 knockouts, his 15 victories, and Jake Collier's got of his 12 victories. He's got 5 knockouts, 3 submissions, and 4 decisions. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Jake Collier used to be a light heavyweight or went up in weight, if I'm mistaken. Yes, he actually was a light heavyweight and actually fought middleweight. Early on was a middleweight, just then went up to heavyweight. Then went up to light heavyweight. Now he's a heavyweight. So Jake Collier now is, he's a heavyweight now, but hasn't always been heavyweight versus Chase Sherman, who I believe has always been heavyweight for most of his career, if I'm not mistaken.
Most definitely.
And
Um,
he's got
yeah,
14 knockouts out, 15 victories. And Jake Collier is coming off a loss to Carlos Felipe. We're in a split decision loss. And before that, he had beaten John Vellante by unanimous decision. But his heavyweight debut, he lost that to Tom Aspinall in 45 seconds. Or Aspinall just knee up the gut and just shut him out quickly. And
yeah.
I personally think Chase Sherman's going to get this victory. I think he's got the heavyweight power. I don't think Jake's a natural heavyweight. And I think Chase Sherman's not Tom Aspinall. However, I do think Chase Sherman's a good heavyweight, and I do think going against someone who's not a natural heavyweight, this should be a fight suited up. That's an easy, not just an easy one. Let me take that back. A fight that favors Chase Sherman to get the knockout victory. That makes sense.
Yeah, most definitely. I remember Chase Sherman. He faced Parker Porter in what was it, last year, roughly around August, and it was a really good fight. I thought he was beating Parker Porter, and then Parker Porter just landed a shot and caught him clean. But overall, I think Chase Sherman favors in this fight as well. I agree with you there.
Right. I mean, it's heavyweight. A lot of things can happen, but Jake doesn't have to. Just like the knockout powers translate to him his career, not just heavyweight, but let alone any part of his career either. So I mean, I see this. I think this should be a victory for Chase Sherman. I mean, I would not be surprised if Chase gets this knockout victory in the first round. I really wouldn't be. To be honest with
Most
you.
definitely. I'm total agreement with you there.
Right, and Chase, Chase has come off two fight losing streak, but like you said, he was doing well against Parker, and then I forgot you mentioned what was that
He
change to fight?
Parker just caught him clean, and then after that, just kind of took over the matchup, and he lost in a decision. And the fight before that, he lost to Andre Arlovsky. That kind of explains it in itself.
Yeah, Andre. Every time you think Andre Arlovsky's dead, he reminds you, no, he's not. He's like a vampire.
Hmm.
Got them, just those some fangs, mouth guard too. Fits Andre Arlovsky. But yeah, like I said, we both have Chase Sherman win this fight. And before we move on, we want to get a shout out to A to Z Media Network. Salute to you as well in the
Most
chat.
definitely, salute to you.
And, and
Jimmy Butler joining us.
in the
See
chat,
Jimmy Butler in the chat. Salute, thank you. I may have just finished a rough game, or you may have won and lost. I don't know what happened. I didn't check the stats, but salute to you, Jimmy. And G Money's in the chat. Gideon, salute to you as well. Thank you guys for supporting and everything you guys do. Thank you.
thank you guys. We appreciate it. Salute to all you guys for supporting us in the chat. Thank you guys. And don't be afraid to ask questions if you got any questions. We'll be more than happy to answer, some good questions. And
Most
go ahead.
No, I'm saying most definitely.
All right, well, I guess we can move on from the heavyweight fight and talk about we go from the big boys to the smallest weight class in flyweights at 125. Interesting top 10 matchup between Brandon Roval and Rogerio
Bontorin.
Botorin. Oh, I don't know why I had a hard time pronouncing that word. His last name. But Boltarin comes in this fight at 17 wins and 3 losses. Now he's lost two and no, he's he's coming off a victory over Matt Schnell back in UFC 262 back in May of last year. And Boltarin does have 11 submissions of his 17 victories, 11 submissions. So we all know what he's good at, what he wants to do, take you to the ground. Now Brandon Royval is coming off 2 losses, but however, the 2 people he's lost to are to Brandon Moreno, who's the current flyweight champion. He's about to defend the belt next week against Figueiredo in Anaheim, which is a great fight. Look forward to that fight. See how that dirt fight goes. We'll talk more about that next week. And Alex Pantoja by submission, who Alex Pantoja is in the upper elite of that 125 division, as we mentioned. It's Pantoja, Askarov, Moreno, Figueiredo. That's the top 4 guys. And Kai France is, climbing up there now. Gotta watch out for him as well.
And that's who Bontarin's last defeat was against. And so that's kind of like, yeah, Kai Kattar, he lost to a rising star within the division, someone who's really making his case for why he should be, a title contender.
Oh yeah, speaking of Kai France, Brandon Royval's last victory is against Kai France. He submitted Kai France back in UFC 253, September of 2020 in Fight Island. So, he does have a victory over Kai France. And he also, of his 12 victories, 8 of them were submission. So both guys like to finish their fights with submissions, most of their victories. So, it seems like to me, I don't know if it's going to be a grappling match. I don't think so, personally. I think it might come down to who has the better striking of the two. And you see you shaking your head in agreement with me, Dan.
Completely. This one might be fight of the night. This really might be fight of the night. I know Chikadze versus Kattar has potential to be, but this is sneakingly fight of the night for me because these 2 guys I think are going to be fast paced. They're going to be striking. They're not going to want to stay in each other's range for long, so it's going to be dipping in and out. If someone gets close and gets into the clinch, we're going to see nasty shots in the clinch. They may try and go for some submissions here and there, but overall they're going to try and shake each other off and then get right back to striking. It's going to be a whole lot of fast paced striking in this one. This is what I believe is going to happen. I don't know who to favor between Bontarin and Royval because Bontarin can do some serious damage, but Royval is no joke. I don't know who to pick for this one. I really don't.
I don't either. It's easy to go for Boltarin considering he is come off victory and Royval's coming off 2 losses, but like I said, 2 losses are to Moreno and Pantoja. It's not like he's losing the scrubs. He's not, but at the same time, Boltarin he could be another contender in that flyweight weight class potentially. So it's like, both are good grapplers, got a lot of submissions. I don't know who has the better striker in the 2. I really can't say. Like, I can't. I mean, like I said, I agree. This could be fight of night considering how even they are. And, plus, I think flyweights tend to be fast. So you're probably going to see a lot of punches thrown, too. Which, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Either way, I'm excited for this fight. This is a good fight in the flyweight division. If someone with big performance can, maybe put themselves in that Kai Friends territory, where it's like they're right there. And speaking of Kai Friends, I think he has a fight coming up. I think they announced him and Pantoja agree or Askarov, or I forget. He's fighting one or two.
Yeah, he's fighting Askarov, I believe. It'd have to be Askarov.
Yeah, you're right. He is. You're right. It's coming to my head now. He's fighting Askarov. I don't remember when, but I know it got announced. Him and Askarov are gonna fight. That's one of the
And
other.
yeah, with currently looking at the UFC ranking, they have Royval at 5 and Bontarin at 7. So this is really Brandon Royval's chance to stay within the top 5 and stay within some form of contention with Brandon Moreno. And for Bontarin, this is his chance to, catapult himself right up there. Potentially, he catapults himself above Kai Kara France. If Kai Kara France, gets stopped by Askarov, Kai Kara France right now is number 6. He just catapults himself right above Kai Kara France, and France may just stay right there out of the top 5.
Yeah, definitely. And that's exciting to see what happens. Whoever wins this fight, like I said, it's in the top 5 or stays there. Well, stay there if you're Raval, and probably maybe enter there if you're Botarin, if you have a great performance potentially. And we're gonna see, who wins this fight and who's potentially one fight away from a title fight against, Bray Moreno or Figueiredo. Depends on what happens next Saturday, which we'll talk more about next week. That trilogy fight, but it should be a good fight too. That we're gonna say
I
something.
want to ask, do you think the flyweight division may have the most I don't know, the most potential?
To be in terms of have multiple champions.
Yeah.
I think that division. Yeah, I think that division we can see a lot of turnover in terms of champions. Like I don't think we're gonna have a Demetrius Johnson who's gonna have that belt for a long time, just defended, just constantly. I think potentially we might see some turnover. We might see a couple. We might see like Bram Moreno might he could lose to Figueiredo. Like I can see that happening next weekend. Actually, he could, and then Figueiredo maybe defends it once and then loses it to I don't know Askarov. Let's just say hypothetically, I'm just going to throw that out there, or
Hmm.
maybe Askarov holds it, but he loses to but Buterin, and then
Or
wait
Kata
who?
France if Kai France beats Askarov. Like there's a
Yes, that's
lot of
true.
potential in this division. Looking through the names, Pantoja, Alex Perez, Roy Val. We just went through some of them. Mateus Nicolau, Matt Schnell, Tim Elliott,
That's
David Duvrak. Like there's a lot of great Sumerdaji. Like there's a lot of lot of great fighters that may have the potential to just catch on a hot streak and end up fighting for the championship within a year or two.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, a lot of guys could do that, and these guys, thanks to Henry Cejudo for saving this division. Now we got all these guys. This division where a lot of guys could beat each other. This is a division where you feel that, and a lot of these guys could become champion. And who knows if we see a long term champion in that division? For a while, we might. Who knows? Maybe Brandon Marino might be that guy. He might surprise us all, and then next thing you know, he has 5 title defenses.
He may be that guy that ends up, bringing Cejudo out of retirement. Who knows?
Right, after Cejudo try to get the Volkanovski fight, which which
Mhm.
I which I actually wanted to see. I mean, I know this
I
is off
wanted to see,
subject,
yeah, I
but
wanted to see that, yeah.
I mean that's historic right there. See, Terence Cejudo try to become the first triple weight champion in UFC history, be quadruple C. I mean that would have been historic.
It really would have been. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen it. And I know everyone, I don't know, certain people said maybe it wouldn't have been an ideal matchup, or we probably wouldn't have seen fireworks. I think we would have seen fireworks.
Yeah, because Henry's not boring at all. He's never been a boring fighter. And I
Hmm.
think Volkanovski want to prove a point to Henry Cejudo, so I know that you can't just come my weight class and take my title, and that plus another legendary name that Volkanovski can beat on his
Hmm.
resume to beat Aldo, and then well one of the Holloway fights I do not count victories. I know you say you think Holloway won both of them.
The record books say he won both. The record books say Volkanovski won them, so it is what it is. I gotta.
Right. I don't count the second one. I don't count that. But yeah.
um, Whatever.
Right,
Anyways,
yeah, right, yeah.
yeah, don't make
But
me stem.
yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's another that'd be another legendary name for Volkanovski as well. I mean, man, damn it, I wanted to see that fight. But who knows? I mean, Cejudo and Brandon Moreno, it would be a fantastic fight, considering considering the I think Brandon Moreno was like on Henry Cejudo's team, the Ultimate Fighter, when Cejudo coached it.
Mm.
So they have that storyline. They're both Mexican. Well, one's born in Mexico, one's Mexican descent in Cejudo. So I'd be, especially a fight like that in like Arizona or California or even Mexico, could be a big deal.
Most definitely. It would be a really big deal. It'd be interesting.
Yes, be unique.
I mean, so yeah, let's not go on a tangent. You want to get right into the next fight?
Yes, okay, yeah. Sorry about that, but we'll go to the next fight, which is in the women's flyweight division. Speaking of flyweights, we're going to keep it in the women's flyweights division now between Kaylin Chikugian and Jennifer Maia, both women who have fought Valentina Shevchenko for the flyweight title. Both were unsuccessful, and Jennifer Maia is coming into this fight uh, winner over Jessica Ai back in UFC's 264 back in July by decision. Then you have Kaylin Chikugian, who's come off two victories in a row, one over Cynthia Calvillo, the other one over Vivian Argello. And Kaylin Chikugian has won three of her last four fights since losing to Valentina back in February of 2020, which can't believe it was that long ago. For me to feel like longer, it was longer that fight. Or no,
It's
or more recent. I should say
yeah,
rather.
yeah. But I mean, she did come back, and I mean, Cavillo, and she just recently fought
Vivi,
Shevchenko, right?
no, she wait. What Shevchenko? You talking about Antonina?
No, Cynthia Cavillo, she just recently fought Valentina, right?
No. She didn't fight Valentina. Cynthia fought who she fought? She not Calderwood. Andrea Lee. That's
Who's her most recent fight? Yeah,
she,
Andrea Lee. She lost to
Andrea
Andrea Lee,
Lee.
yeah.
Andrea Lee.
And Jessica Andrade. That's who I last saw her fight against. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Kaylin Chikagian so far has been on the road. This is going to be very interesting. I think if she wins this, then she should very well be next up to be facing Valentina. Oh,
That
Valentina looks bored right now.
right. She does, and it doesn't help that Amanda lost to Juliana Pena, in the last month. And now, it's not like Valentina can slide in and take that fight against Juliana, despite having victory over her, because they're obviously going to do Nunez Pena the rematch, which doesn't make sense. Which would be a
I
big
mean,
fight.
because I mean, what they're gonna do, the reason why they're repeating the Nunez Pena fight is because Nunez messed up the bag. She fumbled the bag.
She did.
Yeah, if she beat Pena, then the next fight would have been Kayla Harrison,
You
and
think
that would have
so?
been big money. No, that's what the UFC announced. That's what
I,
Kayla announced.
really? I see. I didn't know that. See, I thought Caleb. I didn't think Caleb was going to do. I guess it makes sense for Caleb to go for it. I know her and Amanda are teammates, but she said business is business. So, but okay, yeah, she did drop the ball there. Yeah, Amanda. But I was
Yeah,
talking about Valentina and Amanda having a trilogy fight. But
nah, that's not happening yet because Amanda got to take care of her business.
yep, she has to first. But yeah, you're right about Kelly Chikugian that she has won three of her last four fights since losing to Valentina. If she wins against excuse me, Jennifer Maya, that she should get the next title fight. She won three in a row, 4 or 5. She's the only one contender that's on a roll that's actually poised for a title fight. I mean, 120 women's 125 has some younger, prospects, like Aaron Blanchfield and Casey O'Neill and Marina Maverick, despite her loss to Blanchfield back in UFC 269. They got some young girls who are coming up who look like could be contenders, but like I said, they're young. They're not there yet. They got to win some fights to get experience before they're ready to fight Valentina.
Most definitely, they have to really climb up the ranks and earn their ranking. Yeah,
Right, and basic and so the top of the divisions kind of seems like stagnant because Valentina's already being Jessica Andrade, already being Jennifer Maya, already being Chikugian, and who else did she beat in that ranking? There's someone else. Laura Murphy.
Mm, yeah,
That's what I'm
I
thinking
mean,
of.
but
Laura Murphy.
yeah, Lauren Murphy, Chukagian, Andrade, yeah, and she's beaten Jennifer Maya as well, yeah. So,
Yeah,
but I mean, Talia Santos has just climbed up to the to number 5 rank, so
that's
that's
right.
gonna be, yeah, that may be an interesting fight for Valentina. But first, Caitlyn has to take care of business here, and hopefully hang on to this number 2 spot and have a reason to fight Valentina.
Yeah, I think if Caitlyn wins, especially has a good performance, a really good performance against Jennifer Maya, I honestly don't see how she will get passed over for a title fight against. Well, maybe actually I take that back because the first fight
I
was
was,
dominant, and yes, true it was, and that Teo Santos is number 5, and
but
it
then
was.
also
Go
the
ahead.
other thing too that I could say is Andrade is still number 1. She's still ranked number 1. She's still the number 1 contender. So I know Caitlyn's number 2, and Andrade recently had a fight with Valentina, but Andrade could just say, "You got to fight me to be number 1 contender."
That's true, and she has a victory over Ken Shikugian. She finished her with body shots. If she had her body shot and just dropped her. That's true. Although Andrade, her last time she fought Valentina, like I said, she got dominated. Well, to be fair, a lot of them got dominated by Valentina.
Yeah, the bullet is who the bullet is.
That's right. Talia Santos, she is 19-1, so you could propose her fight Valentina, and I wouldn't hate it if
I wouldn't.
Kaylin.
Yeah, it
Even if
provides
Kaylin
parity.
wins, exactly, it's something different. It's Talia Santos has a good record. You can sell. It's easy for people to buy into. But even if Kaylin has wins her fights, like I said, Kaylin can have a great performance to, in my opinion, solidify her getting a second crack at Valentina for the flyweight title. Which I do think Kaylin will win this fight. Personally, I do think so. I think Kaylin's slightly a little bit better than Jennifer Meyer, in my opinion, just slightly.
Mm.
Although I
What
mean,
between striking or grappling defense, get into into grappling things of that
striking,
nature? Yeah,
more so
striking.
striking. I mean, to be fair, I think if Jennifer Maya can make a grappling fight, she could beat Kaylin Chikugian. So that I do think that's where Jennifer has the edge on is actually grappling
But at the same
slightly.
time, oh man, because the reason why I see what you're saying with Caitlyn, because her footwork is superb, and the way she just stays out of grappling range and can slip. Her grappling defense is really really good. So I see Caitlyn kind of just dancing around her, popping her, and landing every shot that she really wants.
Right? Yeah. You gotta be if you're gonna like strike with her, you better be like Valentina level striking, or be like Jessica Andrade, who just bull rushes girls in, who can get away with that. And Jessica's so powerful that, like I said, Jessica finished Kichuka game with body shots. That's how powerful she is. She can hit you in the body and put you down. But yeah, I don't think Jennifer Maya has this footwork or this striking to match up with Caitlyn for sure. And if you remember in the Valentina fight, she kept trying to take Valentina down, grapple with her, because she knew that she didn't have the striking level was she wasn't on par. I could see her doing a similar strategy against Caitlyn. Although Caitlyn's
Or
striking is
maybe
nowhere as good as Valentina. Sorry, go ahead.
or maybe she comes into this fight and recognizing the weakness that is her striking, and so she's been working on it and working on it. And maybe she does try to strike with Caitlyn. Who knows? Or tries to mix in the martial arts.
Yeah.
I think one of the best things I keep going back to this fight because really he did it like out of all the fighters I saw, this one stuck out to me the most. Brian Ortega versus Korean Zombie. He's striking with Korean Zombie, and whenever Korean Zombie just gets comfortable in the pocket with the striking, he grabs his leg or feints for the striking. Korean Zombie goes down, and then he goes right back to the striking, popping him. Then he goes into grappling and clenching along the cage, dirty boxing, tries to get some submissions. If it doesn't work, he gets right back into it. A true mixing of the martial arts. Maybe she finds a way to, finds a striking style that's, or a count or something that's enough for her to mix it up enough. Who knows?
You're right. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good. I didn't think about that, but now you mention it, that's a good point. She might do that. I mean, that might be her key to victory. Actually, is doing exactly what you just said, or Ortega did to Korean Zombie.
It's going to be very interesting, but like I agree with you there completely. I see Caitlyn being the odds-on favorite, and I would I would agree with that.
Right, and okay, so that's an important matchup in the women's flyweight division between two top 10 contenders. I believe I'm not sure of the top five. I don't think so. I could be wrong. I know Caitlin's number two. You
No,
mentioned.
Caitlyn's number two, but Maya, she's what? Jennifer Maya. Oh, it is in the top five. Maya's number four.
Okay, so these are two top. So it's an important matchup in this flyweight division.
Very important matchup.
Uh, Two top five girls fighting each other. But yeah, we'll go. And the next fight is a lightweight matchup between Dakota Bush and Vyacheslav Borishev. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know
I
any of
don't
these
know
fighters.
neither of these guys. Both of these guys are unranked currently in the UFC. So yeah, I don't know either of these guys is going to be an interesting introduction to them. That's what I would say.
Right, and then in the featherweight matchup, which is not the last fight, excuse me, the first fight of the main card, it's a featherweight matchup between Bill Algo and John and Jonathan Brito.
Joe Anderson, Brito, yeah.
Jonathan Brito. I mean, I don't know why that name sounds familiar. I don't think I've seen him fight, but
I mean, the only fights he's ever had on the UFC is on the Contender Series, and neither of us really pay attention to that. So
I mean that's why I've heard of him
yeah,
from Contender Series. Yeah. Right, and these are two fighters. I'm not gonna lie; these are two guys I haven't exactly not too familiar with at all. Like I said, this
yeah.
Saturday's an introduction. Excuse me, to these guys. So I'm interested to see what these guys are about. Maybe these guys making a big impression, open the new year of fighting in the UFC, and maybe make us remember who they are. It could be the next breakout star. This is a chance for the next breakout star to maybe start. Maybe he's on this card or she's on his card.
hmm It's gonna be a whole lot. I mean, it's a lot of introductions, even going through the preliminaries right now. It's a short card, shorter than usual, but it's a whole lot of introductions. And then we have some familiar names like Jamie Pickett and
Yep.
Court McGee and Brian Keller. Those guys have fights on the preliminary, so it's gonna be very introduction heavy on who these new fighters are, and hopefully they start this off with a boom. Let us know who you guys are. First fight of the year, first card of the year, started off correctly.
Yeah, start off correctly. Make people get first impression can do a lot for
hmm
fighter in a good way. Leave a good first impression. And you mentioned Brian Keller's on this card, right?
Yeah, Brian Boom Keller. He's facing Kevin Kroom. It's going to be the first fight of the card.
Okay, yeah, it's just shorter than usual. It's a short UFC card, and surprising. I don't know if fighters pulled out with, excuse me, COVID or injuries, or they just made it short. It's kind of
Um,
surprising.
I'm seeing a lot of canceled fights and a lot of fighters that withdrew. So a
Okay.
lot of these fights, yeah, I'm seeing even right now, Joaquin Buckley versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan. That's I believe is been rescheduled. Michelle
Uh,
Piera, that's going to be rescheduled due to COVID. That would have been interesting. Michelle Piera is a very interesting fighter.
or Joaquin Buckley. That sucks. I want to see
Yeah,
Joaquin Buckley. I would great to see what. He's always exciting.
Yep. He's a knockout artist.
Yes. So he's always has a shot for knockout of the year.
Mhm.
He's always in that contender for knockout of the year. Him and even Ngannou, who's fighting next weekend, can be knockout of the year contender always.
Should be someone else as well. Man, it's him and Chaos Williams. That's
Oh
it.
yeah, Chaos Williams. Yeah, good point.
Yep, those two are always going to be in contention for knockout of the year because those guys are just knockout artists.
Yes, they are, and yeah, those guys you much watch TV or internet if you're watching on ESPN Plus. But you get my
Mo-
point.
yeah, most definitely. So, with that being said, is there anything else you want to bring up? Any rumors that you've heard that maybe you'd like to discuss right now? Because we broke down the full card.
There's something I do want to discuss. Just want to talk a brief preview because a lot of fights got made over the past week and a half. A lot of fights, and one of the fights I want to talk about it's apparently gonna be the headliner, the main event for the March pay per view. Kobe Covington versus Jorge Masvidal, the grudge match. Finally, this grudge match is happening, and they decided to make this the main event for a pay per view. The only thing I'm upset about is that this is not in Florida. That kind of bothers me a little bit. That's in Vegas, not in Florida. Yes, you heard me, Dan. Especially South Florida. I mean, I thought this is
Oh
the
no no
event.
no 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 no! That would have got dangerous. That would have got dangerous. You know
South
what? Leave
Florida
it in Vegas. Leave it in Vegas. It would have got dangerous because,
having in
like,
Florida.
I just look. I know it's in March, so they haven't done any promo right now because they've done enough promo throughout their careers about each other.
Yeah.
But could you imagine the pure venom that these two are gonna spit at each other?
Yes. Oh, the
The
press
lines that are
conference.
gonna be crossed.
They've already crossed them. Both guys
But
have crossed. Was it
yeah, but
Kobe?
now they have. But now the contracts have been signed, the fights announced, all that. It's they are gonna spew venom at each other at the likes that we've never seen. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what? Any fighter out there, if you don't know how to promo a fight really, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you want to take cues on this fight because these guys are just gonna be straight disrespectful to each other.
They are. I don't. This is no promo. This is like Venom. This is like Habib Connor type of stuff.
Yeah, this is a beep counter type like mentality. These two really do not like each other.
For
Oh
those of
my
you,
god.
for those of you who don't know, these two used to be best friends and were one point roommates with each other, training in the same gym. And then there was a split off. I don't know when it happened, what caused it. There's rumors over not paying coaches, over some say jealousy of the other's success. And then, blah, blah, blah. And then, Kobe leaves the American top team because he's having issues with Masvidal and also Poirier as well, but Masvidal mainly. And then, now media, they talked a lot of shit about each other, excuse my language, a lot of trash about each other and things like that. And so now these two guys, these two guys have talked a lot of junk about each other, calling each other fragile and things like that. And now they finally get to fight and duke it out in the octagon. And now we get a press conference of them talking a lot of stuff. And now they're gonna be probably talk more reckless about each other than they've already have.
This is gonna be the dirtiest, grimiest fight ever. The promo to this fight, the promotion, may be the dirtiest, grimiest promotion ever. I think after this fight, we're all just gonna have to wash ourselves because we were all a part of the filth, and we antagonized it. We didn't stop the filth and say, "Hey, let's try and clean up now." No, we said, "Let's all roll in it and enjoy the filth." because these two are gonna be. It's just a fair warning right now. It, it, if any of you haven't really seen it, look up Jorge Masvidal, ESPN, Kobe Covington. He has a sit down with Ariel Helwani, and Ariel just asked him, "Hey, what's the issue between you and Kobe Covington?" And he sits there, I believe, for like 5 to 10 minutes, and just goes on a diatribe about why he hates Kobe. He he spared 10 minutes of his life, ladies and gentlemen, to talk bad about this individual, and had enough ammunition for 10 minutes to talk bad about this individual. He had nothing nice to say about Kobe Covington. And if you ask Kobe Covington, the same.
Kobe's talked about how he's mentioned Jorge's ex-wife. Mentioned her and how something. So apparently, made claims about how he is to his children as well, and even took a picture of with Jorge's ex-wife, like prior to the Jorge's second fight, Kamaru Usman, and etc. So it's gotten personal, and Kobe feels, always calls him Judas because he feels like he got betrayed by Jorge. So it's very personal. This is not like your typical, fighters trying to sell a fight, type of thing. This is more like two guys who don't like each other, who are willing to talk crap about each other, in the
Like
media.
that weigh in and face off. If there was ever a weigh in and face off that you had to see with your own eyes live, like don't watch the clips, just see it live. This is the one. I think like Dana White is probably going to have to exercise a lot prior to that weigh-in, because both of these guys are going to be in peak shape, and he's going to have to, stand in the middle to separate them, and they're both just going to probably want to swing on each other right then and there. This is going to be grimy, dirty. Oh my gosh. I am looking forward to this one. But I'm going to have to wash myself after this one. I know that.
Yeah, and Kobe opens a sizable favor over Jorge in this fight. In the odds, Vegas odds have Kobe as a good favorite over Jorge.
I mean, when you take in the fact that he gave Kamara a better fight than Masvidal, I could see why people have Kobe as the
Twice.
favorite. But yeah,
Well, to be fair, one of those fights was 6 days notice for Masvidal. To be
yeah,
fair,
Masvidal. So that's why, yeah, I don't count that one. I say really the second one
yeah.
versus even the second one for for Kobe. I know the second one for between Kobe and Masvidal wasn't as much fireworks as the first one, but it was still a pretty good fight. I'd say that Kobe both times gave Masvidal a better
Usman.
fight than. I mean, gave Usman a better fight than Masvidal gave Usman. So I see why Vegas has him as the sizable favorite, but I wouldn't take anything away from Masvidal. This is going to be straight up grappling. I mean, straight up striking. This is going to be a lot of striking,
You think so?
and this is going to be a lot of striking.
I think. See, I think Kobe's gonna mix it up. That's just me.
If Kobe wants to try and mix it up, cool. But I think, dude, I don't even want to say this. But I think Masvidal is going to get into his head enough during the press conference and the build up between the and man, I don't even want to say this. When he says to
You know
smell his
what?
almonds, he says he smells his almonds. If he wants him to be a almonds hugger and smell his cashews and things of that nature. Ladies and gentlemen, if you know what he's been saying about wrestlers, like I think he's gonna get Kobe to strike with him. And I think Kobe is gonna be comfortable enough to strike with Usman. I think he thinks he's
Masvidal.
got it in the bag with him. I mean, with Masvidal to strike with him. I'm sorry, these. Oh man, this is gonna be a grimy fight. I'm gonna enjoy this one.
I'm looking forward to this. This is the pay per view. This is the headline for the March pay per view on March 5th, UFC 272. So less than 2 months, really, till we get this fight. So it's not gonna be that long before. It's gonna be right after my birthday too. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
most definitely. This is gonna be very. Oh man, yes.
Uh, Speaking of well, another fight I got made that I'm kind of interested in seeing is this fight for UFC 273, the pay per view after UFC 272. I think we mentioned it on air. I could be wrong, but Aljamain Sterling versus PRE 2. Did we mention it briefly on air?
That's gonna a little bit as far as that we may have slightly mentioned it. That one is also gonna be very interesting. That one I want to wait until the card to break it down.
Okay. Oh yeah, a big fight for that card also got announced. In middleweight between Calvin Gastelum and Nasruddin Imavov.
Yeah, that one. Calvin Gastelum is getting back into the ring, coming off of his loss to Jared Cannonier. Me personally, I feel that he didn't lose against Jared Cannonier. I thought he won that fight, but the judges saw what they saw and ruled for Cannonier. It's gonna be interesting. I think Calvin he still got it, man. He's still a viable
I think
contender
so too.
in the division, and he's gonna show us.
Uh, but he's going against the French fighter Imavov from I think he's from Dagestan too. I could be wrong. Imavov,
Imamov,
Imavov, excuse me. Yes, he's Dagestan-born French-based fighter. We're an MMA
yeah,
junkie right now. He's coming off that CKO victory over Edmund Shabazian back in UFC 268 in Madison Square Garden.
yeah.
I mean, he trains with Zero Gon too in Zero Gon's gym. Basically, I forget that his gym, but he trains with Zero Gon and
And
Lopez is his
MMA
head coach.
Factory, yeah.
MMA Factory, there we go. That's what it's called. So Imavov is not exactly an easy fight for Calvin. I mean, this is going to be. And
Yeah,
Calvin
it's
doesn't
not
take
an
easy fights. To be fair, he
he
never
doesn't.
does.
He doesn't. And not only that, but I think this how do I say it? Kelvin, I think he's a smart enough veteran that he knows how to win a fight. He knows how to, especially a 3 round fight. I think he knows how to win it. And not only that, but he's getting back into a groove where when you're in a 3 round fight, you gotta finish it quicker. You may have to put it out. Your output has got to be in shorter bursts, but you have it. You have the tank now because you've been through so many 5 round fights. I think he's gonna be a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we'll see because Imavov is no joke. I mean, I think especially training with a good gym, MMA Factory in France, and people, when when someone's from Dagestan, you think they're going to be great. I mean, we have that high expectation for Dagestani fighters as being great wrestlers, great grapplers who are basically going to be tough matchups for everybody. And I think it's no different for Calvin. He's going to
Most
have a tough
definitely.
tough fight with Imavov. And I'm trying to think. There's another fight that got announced recently. It's a heavyweight fight. Who was who was it? It's a
Greg Hardy, he just got recently lined up with the fight.
Yeah. He was supposed to fight Olenek, but he only pulled out, and Sergey Spektov steps in.
Spivak, yeah.
Spivak Speknov. I don't want. I'm thinking of the Russia. I'm thinking of something else from Russia. Like something of their space bar. Anyway, Spekvik, who is ranked like in top 15. I forget where. I know it's like he's ranked. I know that Spetnev as
Who
like a right.
Spivak give me one moment. I'm looking it up right now. Sergey Spivak.
Spivak.
He's actually not ranked.
He was ranked a few months ago. Huh? They lose a fight?
He may have lost recently.
Don't recall.
He did. He did. He lost to man. What's this guy's name? Matter of fact, I have it right here in front of me. Volkov.
Oh, Volkov. Okay.
Yes, he lost to Alexander Volkov.
Uh. Okay.
Yeah, but
Spetnov.
Spivak currently he's not ranked, and neither is Greg Hardy.
No, Greg Hart's come off that loss to Tai
Tui
Tuivasa
Vasily.
back
Yep.
in July, and Speknov is coming off the loss to Alexander Volkov. So both guys are coming off losses to top 10 heavyweights. So I guess it's a fair matchup to see.
Yeah,
And
it's gonna be interesting. Yeah.
I think they're fighting next weekend or the weekend after. It's like within the next 2 weeks, those two are fighting.
Okay. So we'll break that down when the time comes across.
Oh yeah, another fight I want to mention. Two big women's fights. That one is for involving Tisha Torres. Tisha Torres is fighting Mackenzie Dern, April 9th.
That one also. I think that's gonna be very interesting. I think Tisha Torres. That's a very good opportunity for Tisha Torres.
This is a big, Tisha Torres has won, I believe, 3 in a row. Yeah, 3 in a row. She come off the Angela Hill victory, where she dominated Angela Hill in that fight, and she's now ranked in the top 10, if I'm mistaken, or right below it, like not like 11ish. Tisha Torres, but however, she's going against Mackenzie Dern, who's coming off that loss to Marina Rodriguez. But even that loss in that second round, when she got Rodriguez to the ground, Mackenzie Dern put Rodriguez in danger, almost submitted her
Hmm.
too. And if you're Tisha Torres, avoid the ground game at all costs. Avoid it. Simple as that. I know it's not simple, but don't go ground. Don't try that you can out grapple her or wrestle with her, even if you're a good wrestler, because if you do, she probably gonna find a way to submit you and put you in danger because Mackenzie Dern is that good on the ground.
I mean, but then again, it's a fight between two grapplers, so it's always gonna just somehow get right into striking.
That's true, but it usually does. But still, we might who knows? We'll wait and we'll wait and see because if Mackenzie Dern, if you have such a high like grappling level, it's so much better than most women. Why wouldn't you use it no matter what?
I mean, also because you have to respect Tisha Torres's level of grappling. That's why she's risen so far in the rankings, and she's beaten the opponents that she has. Even with Angela Hill, you got to respect the fact that Angela Hill, she knew not to grapple with Angela Hill, and she kind of abided with Angela Hill's striking and ended up outstriking Angela to the point where Angela wanted to go into clinching and try and mix up the fight, but Tisha just beat Angela Hill convincingly. So she's shown that she has great grappling game. She also has great striking game. Wherever you want to take it, she's comfortable right now.
Okay, we'll see. Like I said, we'll talk more about that fight as the fight goes on. Like I said, that's an April 9th, and it's a lot of other big fights that got announced, but we don't want to spend too long talking about them. We'll save them up for these next coming shows, these next coming fights. I think we're going to end it here. I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up the show?
Um, we can kind of address it when the fight happens, but I want to talk about the weird situation. We'll talk about it next week, ladies and gentlemen. But the weird contract situation that Francis Ngannou is in, because this is something
Oh,
that I
yeah.
feel is he's kind of, I don't know, without Dana White accompanying him to the negotiation table, he's stuck in a precarious situation that kind of is where he may be getting penalized for his success, and that's going to be something very interesting. I'd love to see the what you guys think of it on the chat, and how you guys would attack it if you were Francis Ngannou's agent.
Yeah, that's definitely a big story, and we'll definitely talk more about it next week. Considering he's about to fight next week for that, defend his heavyweight title. He technically has one more fight in his deal. Well, we'll talk about that.
No,
Like I said,
no, this is the last fight of his deal.
yeah, that's what I meant. My bad. That's what I meant to say. I should have clarified it. This is his last fight in the deal, technically, but there's a championship clause that goes along
Let,
with
let,
it.
we'll
That's
get
for next
into it.
week.
Yeah.
Next week we'll talk about that when we preview UFC 270 and Ngannou versus Zero Gauntlet for the heavyweight title. And we'll definitely look forward to that card. And as we look forward to Saturday's card, seeing Giga Chikadze and Calvin Kattar live on ESPN at 7 o'clock Eastern time zone and 7 p.m. Pacific. 4 p.m. Pacific, excuse me.
Most definitely. This is I can't wait for this one. Calvin Kattar, Giga Chikadze, I'm expecting fireworks.
I expect it too. Fireworks from at least one of them, if not both guys, are going to deliver fireworks.
Yeah.
New Year
So
may
with
be
that,
over. I'm sorry. New Year's
no,
is
go ahead.
done. New Year's Day is done, but we still got some fireworks from the UFC New Year's.
Hmm. Most definitely. So with that being said, my closing remarks is finally the UFC is back on Saturday nights. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, that's a good statement. All I gotta say is thank you guys for look forward to Saturday night. Here we go. New year, new fights, and let's see what this year brings. Hopefully it's the same as the last 2 years. Well, the last several ever since like let's say since the tough boom of 2005. Let's just say of great fights in the UFC. I mean, even before that, let's
I mean, but I'd say ever since the pandemic, where there's been empty arenas, the level of competition has overall stepped up. We haven't had dud cards, and we've had great fights and greater fights. And I'd say this: last year you had the template of Chandler versus
Gaethje.
sheesh, Chandler versus Gaethje, and that was an amazing fight. Try and outdo it. Try and outdo that.
Dang, how you gonna do, man? We'll
Try.
try. Let's try. Like, yeah, let's just try. We'll see.
Just
We'll see
try.
this year if it happens. I doubt it, but they fight for a reason. We'll find out. We'll wait and see when it happens. It may happen this card. It may happen in February. Heck, it might happen in August or by December. Might wait till December to see something like that. We don't
Never
know.
know.
Exactly.
We
You
may
never
think
know.
we have our we may think we have our performance of the night, performance of the year early in the year. We may have someone like a Max Holloway who sets a tone early in the year, lets it be known he's gonna have great performances, and then follows it up with another one. We never know.
We never. Yep. You never know. Um. Either way. Look forward to Saturday night. Can't wait to see. Thank you guys for watching us and listening to us on audio platforms where it be Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, Apple, Spreaker, etc. Thank you guys for tuning into us, and thank you guys for watching us on YouTube, where you're watching us live or you're watching us afterwards. Um. Thank you for so much. Thank you guys for liking, subscribing. Don't forget to do that if you're a haven't. If you have, like I said, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. Me and Dan do, and look forward to the rest of the year doing the shows. And my dad appreciates you guys checking in this channel as well, checking us out, where it be for MMA stuff or Nick's related content or any other sport contact that's on this channel as well. So we definitely appreciate it. Me, Dan, my dad, Kevin, and everyone else, Gmo, and etc. And everybody, we all thank you for that. So good night, guys. Look forward to talking to you guys again next week, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are